Outbound doesn't fail because reps don't send enough messages. Outbound actually fails because buyers simply do not trust you. And it does not matter if you've got SDRs, KPIs, and an entire system in place. If your team doesn't have content backing them up, then they are going to look like spammers in 2025. And that's exactly why today we are covering why outbound teams fail without content and what you should be doing step by step to actually fix it. My name is Dylan Starr, and this is the Sell for Scale show. And so far in this Outbound series, we've covered two critical pieces. First, we covered why outbound isn't dead. It is just needed to evolve. That was episode 21. Second, we covered how to scale an outbound team without actually burning out your reps. That was episode 22. And today, we're combining it with the missing link. And that link is content. Because no matter how good your SDRs are, no matter how well your KPIs are defined, outbound will not scale without content that builds trust between your message and the actual market. Here is the reality. Buyers don't just take a cold DM or email at face value anymore. They Google you. They check LinkedIn. They scroll over at your website and they look for actual social proof. And what if they find nothing? Or worse, what if they find a profile that is a complete ghost town? Guess what happens? They do not trust you. I'll give you an example. I worked with a media buying company that had outbound reps sending 200 to 300 DMs every single week. The ICP was dialed in, the scripts were solid, and activity was consistent. On paper, they should have been booking calls, but prospects weren't replying. But why? Why would they not reply with so much volume? It was because when those prospects clicked on the company page, there was absolutely nothing there. There were no case studies. There were no testimonials. There was no founder-led content, just a logo and a completely blank feed. Now, think about it. If a stranger slid into your inbox with a pitch, but you could not find any social proof behind it, would you actually respond to that stranger? No, of course not. And when we built them a simple content layer, combining a few case studies, a testimonial video, and had the founder start posting once a week on LinkedIn, reply rates actually tripled. Same reps, same messages, but the perception was completely different. Outbound does not fail because of effort. It fails because of trust. Now, let's cover some types of content. Hey, real quick, we're talking systems right now, and here's the truth. Even if you've nailed leads and offers, a broken system will absolutely crush your ability to scale. But how do you know which one it is? That's why I built a very fast diagnostic assessment. In only 30 seconds, you'll know whether systems are your real bottleneck or if it's something else entirely. Just check the link in the description, take the 30-second assessment, and you'll know. Now, back to the episode. Okay, the first type of content every outbound team needs are what I call authority assets. These are things like your case studies, your testimonials, your screenshots of results. So if you're not saving those, take note, definitely start collecting those. These are what will validate the claim your rep is making in cold outreach. Think of it this way. Outbound reps are like soldiers. If you send them into battle without ammo, they cannot win. Authority assets are that ammunition. One quick win I recommend to every founder: build a content library. Put together 2 to 3 one-page case studies, a short testimonial reel, and a couple social proof screenshots, and house them in one shared folder for your entire team. Now your reps, your soldiers, are actually armed. The next time a prospect says, "Do you have examples?" they can instantly reply with a clean, professional proof piece. And what happens when reps actually have proof? Confidence goes up. And when your reps are confident, they prospect even harder because they know they have something real to back them up. The second type is educational micro content. Most outbound teams ignore this, which is pretty interesting. They think that content is marketing's job. But in 2025, content is sales. This is the short stuff. I'm talking the 60-second clips, the LinkedIn posts, the super quick carousels, content that shows you understand the problem your ICP is facing and without making them having to read a long white paper. I had one rep who made it a habit to record 90-second Loom videos. He would review a prospect site and point out 2 small tweaks to improve conversions. No pitch, just straight value. The result? His show rate jumped by 20%. But why? Why would this happen? It's because prospects saw him as a trusted advisor, not just another cold rep. Now, that's before they even got to speak to him. Imagine having that authority before you even get to have the conversation and then they show up. This is the game changer. Educational content doesn't just fill space, it pre-frames the entire sale. By the time the call happens, the buyer already believes you can solve their problem. All right, now here's the big one: founder and brand presence. If your reps are doing outbound and a prospect checks LinkedIn to see the founder and the profile is blank, trust is gone. I've seen SDRs grind every single day, sending hundreds of messages. But when prospects clicked on the founder's profile, they saw nothing. That silence said, this company isn't actually real. This founder doesn't lead. This team is not worth my time. Now, flip that entire script. When the founder is visible, posting content, sharing wins, offering insights, reps can borrow that credibility. Suddenly, the outbound rep isn't a random stranger. They're a representative of a visible and credible leader. And if you're watching this and you're the founder, you must be that leader. And in B2B, founders are the brand. If you are invisible, you are handicapping your entire team. So, how do you actually integrate content into your outbound process? Okay, well, step 1, we need to build a content library. Do not expect reps to go and hunt down screenshots. It's a waste of their time. It is not efficient. Give them standardized assets. Give them one-pagers with clips, even Loom templates that they can go and follow and record themselves. The second step is you want to standardize, everything. Reps having to freelance copy is how you get 5 different brand voices. One says, we'll make you rich. The other says, we're premium consultants. And that inconsistency amongst your reps is going to kill trust. The third step is going to be feedback. Every single week, just ask your reps, hey, what assets actually got you responses? Which one did you send that got ignored? That feedback loop is actually what's going to sharpen your library and make it better over time. And step 4, ownership. Content enablement needs a leader. A profit partner or a sales manager should own this entire process. Without ownership, content gets made once and then it is forgotten. But with ownership, it evolves alongside your entire outbound system. All right, to leverage content, you're going to need a new outbound playbook for 2025. Outbound starts the entire conversation. Content builds the actual trust. Calls convert the actual pipeline. Outbound and content are not separate anymore. They are one system together. If you split them, you will fail. If you combine them, you will scale. Now, if you're watching this and you're a founder, this is a very, very important reframe that I think needs to hit home, okay? The market did not kill outbound. Bad outbound is what has killed outbound. When reps show up with no content, when they show up with no proof, and they show up with no authority, prospects are going to ghost them. But when you combine outbound with content, having authority assets, having educational pieces, and having you, the founder yourself, having a brand presence, trust will absolutely skyrocket. Outbound is not failing. Trust is the only thing right now that is failing. And content, I promise you, is how you fix it. So if you are on the fence with creating content and doing it, you need to get off the fence. It is a must-have in 2025, and carrying into next year is going to be even more important. This is the Sale for Scale show. If this episode gave you clarity, then hit subscribe so you don't miss the frameworks that I share each and every week. And if you've missed episode 22, the one right before this, It's titled How to Scale an Outbound Team Without Burning Out. Go back and watch that one, because outbound systems plus content is the combo that's going to make your pipeline scale in 2025. My name is Dylan Starr, and I'll see you on the next episode.